When was the last time you actually felt something? Not the quick dopamine hit from a notification, not the fleeting satisfaction of finishing another episode, but something real, something that reached into your chest and reminded you that you're still here. You probably can't remember, can you? That's not your fault. You've been conditioned, trained to seek comfort instead of meaning, to choose distraction over presence, to numb yourself so effectively that you've forgotten what being awake actually feels like. Look around. We're surrounded by a generation of walking ghosts, breathing, moving, consuming, but not really living, just existing in a quiet purgatory of their own making. Maybe you recognize yourself in them. Maybe you've felt that creeping suspicion that something's missing, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is. This isn't about being bored. This isn't about being distracted. This is about forgetting what it means to be alive. The most dangerous thing about this numbness is how comfortable it's become, how normal. You don't even recognize it as a problem because everyone around you is living the same half-life. But deep down, in the quiet moments between notifications, when you accidentally encounter your own thoughts, you feel it, that nameless ache, that sense that you're watching your life happen instead of living it. You've been numb so long, you've forgotten what alive feels like. It didn't happen overnight. This wasn't some dramatic moment where you consciously decided to disconnect from your life. No, this numbness crept in slowly, gradually, like a fog rolling over your consciousness so subtly you barely noticed its arrival. Remember when you used to get excited about things, when music would give you chills, when a conversation could keep you up all night? When was the last time you felt that spark? That fire in your chest that made you feel present, awake, alive? The first sign was probably how those things that once brought you joy started to feel flat. The music you loved became background noise. The hobbies you were passionate about became chores. The people who lit you up became obligations. But you didn't register it as a problem. You just thought you were growing up or being realistic. Then came the increasing need for stimulation. One episode wasn't enough anymore. One scroll session didn't satisfy. One purchase didn't hit the spot. You needed more, faster, stronger hits just to feel a fraction of what you once felt naturally. Your baseline for satisfaction kept rising while your capacity for joy kept diminishing. Soon, your default response to everything became whatever. Plans with friends, whatever. A promotion at work, whatever. A beautiful sunset, whatever. Not because you didn't care, but because caring felt too distant, too difficult to access. Apathy was easier, safer. The bitter irony is that this numbness began as protection. Your brain, overwhelmed by stimulation, stress, or pain, decided to turn down the volume on everything. It was meant to be temporary, a circuit breaker to prevent overload. But you learned to live there, to exist in that muted state. And what started as protection became prison. You started numbing the pain, but ended up numbing everything else too. Your brain doesn't distinguish between good feelings and bad feelings when it decides to shut down. It just pulls the plug on the whole system. So in your desperate attempt to avoid discomfort, you accidentally surrendered your capacity for joy. This is the trade-off no one warned you about. In exchange for never feeling too bad, you also lost the ability to feel truly good. In your quest for comfort, you sacrificed aliveness. And the most insidious part, society rewards this numbness. It wants you comfortably numb. Passive consumers are profitable. People too disconnected to question their circumstances don't cause trouble. Your dissociation isn't a bug in the system, it's a feature. The most dangerous prison is one where you don't realize you're locked up, where the walls feel like protection rather than confinement, where you've decorated your cell so nicely that you forget it's still a cell. That's the paradox of your numbness. It feels safe, manageable, like you're in control. But in reality, it's the most dangerous state you could be in, because it keeps you trapped while convincing you that you're free. Modern life is the perfect architect of this prison. Every aspect of contemporary existence seems designed to keep you comfortably numb, floating through life half awake. Look at the content algorithms feeding your mind. They're not designed to challenge you or wake you up. They're engineered to keep you in a trance-like state, passive, consuming, scrolling. Each video, each post, each article precisely calibrated to keep you engaged without ever being truly awakened. The perfect balance of stimulation without revelation. Then there's our convenience culture, removing all friction from your life. Everything delivered, everything instant, everything easy. But what if that friction, that struggle, that effort, is exactly what makes life feel real? When was the last time you worked hard for something, waited for something, earned something? The ease that was supposed to free you has only made your prison more comfortable. Even your relationships have become part of the system. Social media has replaced genuine connection with superficial engagement. You don't have conversations anymore. You have exchanges of content. You don't share vulnerable moments. You share curated highlights. You've got hundreds of connections, but can't remember the last time you felt truly seen by another human being. Your comfort zone has become a coffin, padded, comfortable, familiar, but still a place where parts of you are slowly dying. Deep down, you know something's wrong. You feel it in those rare, quiet moments when your distractions fail you. That vague dissatisfaction, that sense that you're missing something essential, that creeping fear that you might reach the end of your life and realize you never actually lived it. But here's what makes it truly insidious. The prison benefits from your imprisonment. Your numbness makes you a perfect consumer, a compliant worker, a predictable data point. Your dissociation isn't an accident, it's profitable. The system doesn't want you awake and feeling. It wants you comfortable enough not to rebel, but empty enough to keep consuming. And so you stay in your comfortable prison, telling yourself that this is just how life is now, that everyone feels this disconnected, that the vague sense of wrongness is normal, that the emptiness is just part of being an adult in the modern world. But what if it's not? The most disturbing part isn't just that you're numb, it's that you've become addicted to the very things keeping you numb. You're caught in a cycle that functions exactly like any other addiction. It starts with discomfort, a moment of boredom, a flicker of anxiety, a flash of loneliness, a hint of existential dread. These feelings arise naturally throughout your day. They're normal parts of being human, but they've become intolerable to you. So what do? You reach for your numbing agent of choice. Your phone, social media, Netflix, food, shopping. Whatever substance or behavior gives you immediate relief from having to sit with yourself. And it works. For a moment. The discomfort fades. You get that hit of dopamine. The uncomfortable feeling is pushed away. Problem solved, right? Except the underlying issue, whatever triggered that discomfort, remains unaddressed. And each time you numb yourself instead of facing it, it grows slightly stronger. The root causes of your dissatisfaction, whether it's meaningless work, shallow relationships, or disconnection from purpose, continue to fester beneath the surface. So next time, the discomfort returns stronger, which means you need a stronger dose of numbing to push it away. More scrolling, more episodes, more purchases, more distractions. The cycle accelerates, the doses increase, and you find yourself needing more intensive numbing just to maintain baseline functioning. Your coping mechanisms were supposed to save you, but they're slowly killing you instead. This isn't hyperbole. The costs of chronic numbness are devastating. What's really being lost while you're checked out of your own life? The capacity for deep joy and connection. When you numb the lows, you also cap the highs. You sacrifice the full spectrum of human emotion for a narrow band of comfortable mediocrity. You trade peaks and valleys for a flat line, and a flat line is what they draw when you're dead. Your authentic self-knowledge disappears. How can you know who you really are when you never allow yourself to feel your genuine responses to life? Your preferences, your boundaries, your desires, your purpose. These can only be discovered through feeling. Without emotional data, you become a stranger to yourself. Present moment awareness evaporates. Life only happens now, not in your memories of the past or your anxieties about the future, only in this moment. And when you're constantly numbing, you're missing the only time your life actually exists. What moments have you missed while you were numbing yourself? What connections? What beauty? What opportunities? The most tragic thing about this addiction is that it robs you of your one irreplaceable resource: time. Days blur into weeks, blur into years, and suddenly you're looking back, wondering where your life went, wondering why, despite having everything you thought you wanted, you feel so hollow. Each time you reach for a distraction instead of sitting with a feeling, you're making a choice. Each time you choose comfort over growth, safety over aliveness, you're deciding what kind of life you'll have. These small choices, made hundreds of times daily, are shaping your existence far more powerfully than the big decisions you agonize over. And the choice is always the same. Will you continue to exist, or will you finally begin to live? The path back to feeling alive isn't found through more comfort. It's found through embracing discomfort. This is the counterintuitive truth most people never realize. The doorway to aliveness exists precisely where you've been trained to avoid looking. Your numbness is a fortress built of comfort. Breaking free requires deliberately dismantling those walls, brick by brick. It requires making the conscious choice to feel again, even when those feelings aren't pleasant. The discomfort you've been running from isn't your enemy. It's the signal that you're returning to life. Like blood rushing back into a limb that's fallen asleep. It hurts, but the pain means healing has begun. This awakening isn't a single dramatic moment. It's a practice, a daily commitment to choose presence over escape, to sit in the discomfort rather than automatically reaching for your phone, to feel the anxiety rather than drowning it in distraction. Start by creating intentional friction in your life. Our modern existence has been engineered to be frictionless, but meaningful experiences require resistance. Take the long way home. Do things the hard way sometimes. Turn off autoplay. Delete the food delivery app. Allow yourself to experience hunger, boredom, loneliness, not as punishment, but as reconnection to your humanity. Your devices have become extensions of your numbing system. A digital detox isn't just trendy self-care, it's exposure therapy. It's forcing yourself to exist without your primary coping mechanism. Start small, an hour, then a morning, then a day. Notice the withdrawal symptoms, the itchy discomfort, the way your hand reaches for your phone without conscious thought. These are signs of addiction, and recognizing them is the first step toward freedom. Reconnect with physical sensations. Numbness doesn't just happen in your mind, it happens in your body. Notice how your breathing changes when you're anxious. Feel the tension in your shoulders when you're stressed. Experience the weight of sadness in your chest. These bodily sensations are the alphabet of emotion. Learning to read them again is essential to reclaiming your emotional intelligence. Seek out conversations and experiences that challenge you. Surround yourself with people who are awake, who aren't afraid to ask difficult questions, who call you higher instead of keeping you comfortable. Read books that disturb your worldview. Try activities that scare you a little. Push against the boundaries of your comfort zone regularly. This awakening won't be linear. You'll have days of breakthrough clarity, followed by days when you fall back into old patterns. The pull toward numbness is strong, It's been reinforced over years. Be patient with yourself, but don't confuse patience with permission to remain asleep. The discomfort you feel as you awaken isn't a sign that something's wrong. It's evidence that something's finally right. Like muscles burning during exercise, the discomfort is how you know you're growing stronger, more alive. Your numbing behaviors were never the problem. They were just symptoms of a deeper issue. Your disconnection from yourself, from others, from meaning, from life itself. As you begin to reconnect, the need for those behaviors will naturally diminish. The capacity for aliveness never left you. It's been there all along, beneath the layers of protection you built around your heart. It's waiting for you to remember what you truly are. Not a passive consumer of experience, but a vibrant, feeling, fully alive human being. The numbness won't let go easily. When you start to feel again, really feel, there will be moments when the intensity seems overwhelming. When the safety of disconnection beckons. Your system has been calibrated for numbness for so long that aliveness feels like an error. The journey from numbness to aliveness isn't about adding something new. It's about removing the barriers you've built against your own experience. Children don't need to be taught how to feel alive. They know it inherently until they learn otherwise. The goal isn't to feel good all the time. That pursuit is what led to numbness in the first place. The goal is to feel everything, the full spectrum of human emotion, without needing to escape it. The choice is always available, in each moment, to numb or to feel, to disconnect or to engage, to exist or to live. You've been numb so long, you forgot what alive feels like. But that feeling is still there, waiting for you to come home to it. If this message resonated with you, hit subscribe and join a community of people who are choosing to wake up. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a comment about one small action you'll take today to choose aliveness over numbness. Sometimes, naming that intention is the first step toward breaking free.